A lesbian couple is suing the Trump administration and the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops after they were denied the opportunity to become foster parents to an unaccompanied refugee child. The women claim they were unlawfully turned down for religious reasons because the Texas program takes federal money. Joining us now from New York to discuss the situation is from the Catholic League, of course, President Bill Donohue from the Catholic League. Bill, what's going on in this case? Because this couple says they were told basically their coupledom is not mirroring that of the Holy Family, which is what the Catholic organization told them.
Right. There was one allegation. One woman denied that. But let's say it is. Who cares? Look, this is a pattern all across the country. ACLU suing Catholic hospitals to make them perform abortions. You have gay couples trying to crash Catholic institutions, foster care, or whatever it is. They've lost every single time. In the case of this case, in Texas, a law was passed last year protecting the right of faith-based initiatives to exercise their doctrinal prerogatives. And that would mean that Catholic agencies which do not believe in same-sex marriages do not have to allow a lesbian couple to have their care. And at the federal level, we have faith-based institutions for decades. It's just as long as you don't involve yourself in inherently religious activities, such as forcing the kids to go to Mass and prayer services, things that would make some people nervous, people have a phobia about religion, then you're okay. So they know they're going to lose. It's a matter of gay bullying and harassment, if you want to know the truth.
So presumably this couple, if they wanted to foster a child, there's probably no shortage of children in the United States, or certainly in Texas. I would imagine that they could probably find that they would be welcome to foster these children. So your point is that they're going to these various Catholic organizations.
They're shopping them. They're shopping them. Yeah. The ACLU in particular is doing this. These are gay activists. They try to act like as if they're not. They're gay activists. They're trying to shove their secular values down our throat. You know, it's when the church gets too aggressive, we say, what about church and state? It works the other way more often than not when the state is encroaching on a religious institution, which is why we have these religious liberty protection laws all over the states. It's precisely because of secular militants trying to shove their way in and to basically neuter Catholic institutions. Once you take out the Catholicity of a Catholic institution, it's now secular. They can go to other religions, which are okay with this. They can go to secular and public institutions.
Yeah, the Lutherans do a lot.
I'm sure the Unitarians would love them.
Right. Well, the Lutherans do a lot of resettlement as well. They get big federal grants.
Right.
So that's also an issue. In Massachusetts, they basically did away with Catholic adoptions, correct? And in other states, Catholic adoption agencies are basically shut down because of these lawsuits, correct?
It varies by state, and some states have been, the Catholics have been willing to capitulate. This is not a settled issue, but if anything, the law is on our side, particularly with the states that they have those protections there. But we've known about this for a long time. Why is it that Catholic hospitals continue not to perform abortions? Why is it that adoption agencies continue to insist on Catholic doctrines and without a problem? It's because there's no violation of federal or state law. What you have here is an intent. The intent is to intimidate, to bully, to get them to capitulate. And so if you get some weak-kneed Catholics like you do in Massachusetts, which is not exactly a very known for their strong Catholic opinions and whatnot,
all right, we're going to hear it from the Catholics. We're going to hear it from those Catholics in Massachusetts now.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'd like to hear from them, too.
All right. Thanks so much, Bill.